Today I'm going to look at how do you reduce a big trunk like this. I'm going to use air layering for it because I don't want to waste it. So I'm going to create a second tree out of this tree. And I'm going to show you how to treat a wound like this in early spring to help it close. When it comes to bonsai, often less is more. Just like with many things in life, truly. If you look at this bonsai, it is a very nice big tree. But bonsai is about little trees. So I would like to explore with you how we can create a tree that is smaller than it is right now and becomes more a miniature tree than just a big shrub. I've got this gorgeous Japanese maple, and to be honest, I don't know which variety it is. So if any of you does know, please drop a comment. But this maple I got last year from a trader, and at the time it was very weak. The branches didn't grow last year and it just had a few leaves. So when I got it, I just potted it up, put it in a good substrate and let it be for the year. This is one of the flaws of the tree. There's a big cut area here. Probably there was a main trunk going out this way and somebody cut it off and it didn't heal properly. You can see, in fact, it went all the way to here, that the original bark was carved away, and also here low on the trunk there's some dead spots. So that gives another explanation why we have these dead spots. Maybe there has been sun directly on the roots and on the side and the tree was left without water for a little bit. In any case, it means we have to work on healing this scar. Next to this, we have this very big branch coming off a side branch and competing with the main canopy. So that's the second flaw that I would like to fix. Today, I'm going to look at how do you reduce a big trunk like this. I'm going to use air layering for it because I don't want to waste it. So I'm going to create a second tree out of this tree. And I'm going to show you how to treat a wound like this in early spring to help it close. Before we can work on the wound, we first of course have to clean off all the old wound paste, cut paste that is on here. This was put on last year to help it cover the wound a little bit further. Old cut wounds typically have a hard time of closing completely. You see over time that they stop rolling back. And here you can see that over the years it has 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, maybe 6 years worth of rings in the bark already. So this little section has taken 6 years. One of the ways to stimulate the tree to start growing again is by opening up the bark on the edge. It doesn't have to be much. It is just about a tiny sliver of bark that you take away. Just like that. You do this all around, and what will happen is that the cambium layers that are just below the bark, the cambium layers will start growing again. And when the cambium layers grow, you get a new line of bark. In fact, it will start moving outwards again. On trees, the only place that cell division takes place is at the end of the branches and in the cambium layer. So by removing the bark here, we expose the cambium layer and this is triggered to grow again. By doing this, outward grow is restarted and we get a new ring of bark covering this wound. I will need to open this up every single year if I want this completely to close. To maximize this effect, it's important to cover the exposed areas immediately with cut paste. This way, the wound doesn't dry out all that much, the cambium stays moist, and you get maximum growth out of it. Note that I am wetting my fingers as I go, because otherwise the cut paste will stick to my fingers more than to the wood and it will not hold. So big design challenges. We have a nice trunk. This is the nicest view for the base because it tapers nicely going up into the trunk. Problem is, this main trunk doesn't do very much for the tree. This of course will have to be the back of the tree because I don't want this big scar to be ugly and stand out later in the finished tree. Now deciding which trunk to keep. We have this one, which is the biggest. This one is a little bit thinner. This trunk really comes out from the side of the main trunk. The trunk tapers naturally into this branch. From that perspective, it would make a lot of sense to remove this. Now you can see already I have wired a little side branch up. Why have I done that? Well, if you twist the tree around, roughly into this position, you can follow the trunk line up with nice movement into the top, which would be here. That would dictate that this branch and that branch will have to go. This will have to be a bit shorter. This will have to be a bit shorter. I'm not going to try very hard to find the ideal spot for air layering. There's lots and lots of side branches on this trunk. So basically I'm just going to put a layer in this section. So there's a little stump. Later on I can cut this flush after it has properly healed with the main trunk. But the air layer will be here. So we've made some design choices for this gorgeous maple. The tree is going to be a lot shorter. It's going to be a lot narrower. This is going to be a second tree. And now it is a matter of letting it grow for the season. Hopefully somewhere in early summer I can separate the air layer of the main tree. And after that I will look into reducing these main branches. But that is more something for next spring. Right now I want this tree to grow. So I'm going to fertilize it, water it, give it lots of sun and love. See you next time.